Welcome in. It is day 332, and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to be going over a game that I've only played so far on Board Game Arena. This is one of those games that I've actually never played with friends or family. I just played on there with random people. Learned the game there initially, and then went and watched some YouTube videos to try to figure out what I was doing, as I had no clue what was going on. But the game is actually quite simple. The game is called Space Base. Now, the concept of the game is that you are working primarily with, you've got money, you've got points that you can be earning, and you've got income. So you start the game with certain cards all set up in the area and dice. And what you basically do is you get your basic starting income. Now, when you roll the dice, you're going to have two options. You can spend each die individually, or you can add them together and spend them together as one larger number. The individual dice means that you're only going to get a max of 6. So for each spot you activate, you're going to get a low or medium type result. But if you add them together and you start getting up to that 9, 10 range, you're starting to get big results. You basically go through all the cards that are up based on the dice that you roll, what you choose from your either two options or one. You get to get their red ability. This may give you points. This may give you additional spend. It may increase, there's a bunch of things it can do. Now, when you're done, your opponents are also going to use the exact same die. However, they have to use it on the above ability, which is the blue. So they will spend it on the blue. They will get to pick either two different options or one, and they'll get their setup. Then you, the active player, will go and you can choose to purchase one card. When you do so, you'll place it into your tableau. The card that you're replacing will flip, placing it under and adding a blue ability, a red ability to you. So it's actually the active player gets blue, the inactive player gets red abilities. So you'll flip it, you'll put the red ability showing there, you'll put the new card down, and you'll continue. Now the concept of the game is that there'll be times where you're supposed to spend your money, you'll spend what's required, and then everything else from your money, and then you'll get income. So let's say you've been working really hard, and you ended up going and saying, all right, I activated 2 spots, I've really built up my thing, I ended up getting up to like 9 money. And then I bought something for 4 money. You'll spend the 4 and then you have to wipe out the rest. Then you have to look at not what your money was, because that's back down to 0, but what your income is marked as, and your income will jump you up so that next turn you're already there. So if you've gotten to an income of 4, you're back to 4. Then the next turn comes and you do everything again. And during the other player's turns, you're getting all your red abilities, so you could be building up your money this way. Well, you're going to continue playing at this style until eventually you have somebody either do one of two things. One is that they reach 40 points or more in your victory points. When one or more players have done this, the game ends, you finish the round. So long as there is not a tie for first, that's the winner. If there is a tie for first, you have to continue playing, which means that somebody could be all the way in last place, but that's another round, and they end up jumping ahead and they win the game. Just because you have to continue because of the tie doesn't mean that the tie players are going to win. They're opening this up to everybody. That's the basic way to play. However, there is an extremely strong card that basically has a setup that you get the card, and then whenever you activate its ability, you get to add a block. And after having added 5 blocks, you can then, on your turn, remove the blocks, and it's an automatic win. It's another way to win the game, but it's extremely unlikely. Well, that's the basics, but why don't we jump in? Let's talk about our 7 categories and see where this game lands for us. When it comes to the art, I actually love the box. I had been wanting to try the game for a couple of years because I kept seeing it in board game stores, and I liked that box. And whenever I would look at the back of the box, if I saw somebody playing in a convention, the setup looked really cool too. I liked the card art. It's a thumbs up. Your components. Primarily your components are cards, and they're a good quality. However, you also get with these the board that you're laying them out with. This is a little bit of cardboard to lay them on so that the cards are all distributed properly. Another board that's going to track your money, your income, and your points, and then you're going to get with that 3 different plastic colored cubes, which will help track. And then you're going to have basically these be all of the pieces. So it's cardboard, it's a little bit of plastic cubes, and it's your cards, and they're all really good quality. Thumbs up. Your price. Space Base is still pretty available. You might find it in a Barnes & Noble. I don't think it's a regular there, but I wouldn't be shocked to find it there. I don't think you'd find this in a Target, but you're probably finding it in about 3 out of 5 board game stores, and it's available online. And this game goes for about $40, so it's a reasonable price for a good game. It's a thumbs up. Your difficulty. So the game isn't extremely difficult. So I think this is a game that you can play with kids and with beginners. That being said, I think its target audience is the experienced player. And I think that the experts can still enjoy it because there is a little bit something there. I think that a lot of experts like myself tend to kind of get away from dice rolling games, but this game gives you choice. You're not being locked into something, and you can build up what you're trying to aim for grabbing and owning so that you can affect what dice are coming out. You can spread it out even and make sure no matter what's being rolled, you're going to get a reward, or you can go on dice manipulation and say, let's go after 6s and 7 8s because they're more likely for the combos. So there's something that can offset just the random luck of dice in this game, which is why I think not all experts would hate it. That being said, I think that the difficulty is fine on this game. Thumbs up. Replayability. Replayability is very simple. This game is easily replayable. You can play this game 2-3 times in a row. You can play this game multiple times a year. This is not a game that's going to be hard to get to your table. Thumbs up. Keys to victory. So we just talked about it. What are you after? Are you trying to get more and more cards to guarantee more payout? Are you trying to focus in on a couple spots to hope for big payouts? Are you trying to go after your money? Or you're going after your income so that late game you're always having a bigger amount of money to start with? Are you going after either of those, or are you going to target the points immediately? Or are you really going after, I want to build up my money and I want to buy a huge, huge card, whether that be an income or a payout or a points card? You're after 40 points at the end of the game, but there's all sorts of things you can do. I think that it's a great setup. Keys to victory, thumbs up. Is the game unique? I think the game's actually pretty unique. There are other games I think that replicate pieces of this, but in general, I think this is a game that stands alone, and it's really good for when it comes to its theme as well. Games that I can kind of think of that would even come near this game are more in that, historic or country-based or medieval themed. I can't think of many games that really touch what this does, but anything that's really using that mechanic of whenever I roll, you get something and I get something, that tends to be roll and write games, which tend to be a little bit more numerical or occasionally like scientific or historical. So for me, I think this game stands alone. It's a thumbs up. Overall, what do I think? I don't think this is a must-own game, but I think for anybody with a Board Game Arena account, go check it out and try it. It's a game that you might find yourself liking. And I think that if you don't have a Board Game Arena account, still find a way to get this to the table at least once. It's not a game I think is going to blow you away, but it's a game that may work for you because not only do you enjoy it, you might find this is a game that you can play with family, friends, and your game group. Well, it has been day 332, and we've been speaking about the game Space Base. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description where I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. And don't forget to find me on Board Game Arena under the Meeples Champion. You can send me a game request, a friend request. I try to be on a couple times a day. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.